know what the fuck that woman was looking at me for. I'm allowed to get gas here. It doesn't say white people only or Napa residents only. Stupid bitch. I know they're racist up here too. They don't like the Latinos. They don't like tourists of any kind up here. It's well known. Yeah, locals here are very snobby. They don't like people with families. They're the main people that hate. I don't know why they do. They just do. Some strange reason happens like that.
We're going to work super hard to win them over. Southwest President and CEO Bob Jordan says research shows 80% of air travelers want assigned seating. What they don't want is to pay for luggage. And Jordan says they will continue to allow passengers 2 free checked bags. You know, after the fare and the schedule, the number one reason customers select Southwest Airlines is because of our bags fly free policy, and we are not taking that away from them. Starting in 2025, Southwest will also add red-eye flights for the first time. At San Francisco Bay Oakland International Airport, Matt Bigler, KCBS.
We're going to check out the sports line in 1 minute.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Coming up on KCBS, the suits at Marvel are crossing their fingers that their latest release will bring the superhero fans back to theaters. We're going to explore it a little bit more in 5 minutes. KCBS News Time, 6:15.
Matt Pittman joins us from the area Chevy Dealer Sports Desk. He has more news, major soccer news actually, ahead of the Olympics.
Have you been following Drone Gate?
No.
It's the craziest story. Here it is. Top line is Canada's women's national team head coach Bev Priestman has been removed this afternoon from the country's Olympic team. Keep in mind, these are the reigning gold medal champions from Tokyo 4 years ago. Why? Because they were busted flying drones over practice of New Zealand's Olympic team. That will be the first team that they play. Biggest question, first thing that people were responding was, why New Zealand? New Zealand's not very good. Okay, they're just really not very good at all. So if you're going to do that, don't you go after, like, the Americans or a much better program? Bottom line, it's already cost 2 assistant coaches their job. And then the Canadian Olympic Committee said today that, Priestman, you're out of here. It could have been a whole heck of a lot worse, though, according to ESPN FC Canada reporter Sophie Lawson.
Of course, for Canada, things could have been much worse. Now, at this stage, the IOC was enacted an action that punished all of the team. It said they'd have kept it just to these 2 individuals.
So it all came to light back on Tuesday. A report from TSN, the Canadian outlet, that both Canada's men's and women's soccer teams have used drones to record opponents' closed-door training sessions for years, including going back to when the women's team won gold in Tokyo. They didn't have any proof until recently. Oh, by the way, the Olympics start tomorrow.
Right, watch the highlight video.
Kind of, but it's on the record. It's you know, it's the same with the National Football League. They make they call it the all camera. So you've got everybody on either side of the football, way high up. That's how they treat it. But as we learned with the Belichick and Spygate,
I was just going to bring that up.
it's got to be the league's camera, not your own guy who knows the guy's camera, you know what I'm saying? At the sports desk, Matt Pittman, KCBS.
1877 College for Kids, KARS
with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1877 cards for kids. K-A-R-S cards for kids. 1877 cards for kids. Donate your card today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This summer, go to San Francisco Opera for just $10. The Dolby family is offering $10 tickets in prime seating sections to anyone with a Bay Area zip code who has not attended the opera in the past 3 years. Visit sfopera.com/opera for the Bay today.
KCBS News Time 6:18. We've got traffic sponsored by San Francisco Opera. We're going to check it out with Kim in your local Honda dealer's traffic center.
We've got a crash in Orinda, slow patch here for your ride on the eastbound side of Highway 24. Just a minor snarl here. Before you get there, traffic is slow, leaving Oakland on eastbound 24 just before you get to the Caldecott Tunnel. So a couple of cars here before St. Stephen's blocking one lane, so you can get by with just a minor delay. Up ahead, we've got the upper hand on a grass fire in Concord. Fire crews have handled this one northbound 680 past 242. They were blocking a lane, and now the smoke has dissipated, and we're back in business there. Still backed up in San Ramon, a crash southbound 680 past Bollinger Canyon Road. A big rig in a car that was blocking 3 right lanes, now just blocking the right lane. Still slow from before Crow Canyon Road, but I can see it shaking loose. And that big rig that stalled out in Livermore, eastbound 580, before North Livermore Avenue, out of the way. Next up, 628 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Check in on your Mancini Sleep World 6-day forecast. Visit Mancini Sleep World and save on cooling mattresses and accessories. Or visit sleepworld.com. KPIX5 meteorologist Paul Hagan.
Temperatures are about to cool down for inland parts of the Bay Area, which is very welcome news for those folks who have been sweltering over the past several weeks. Temperatures are actually going to be below average on Friday. That's going to continue through the weekend before we slowly return to near normal temperatures Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. High temperatures inland, a mix of upper 70s and low 80s on Friday, dipping to the mid-70s on Saturday, back up to the upper 70s and low 80s on Sunday, but comfortable conditions through the weekend. Temperatures around the Bay will also be below normal, only in the mid to upper 60s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then back to the 70s next week. Along the coast, highs stuck right around 60 degrees. Also stuck, the fog and the low cloud cover. It's going to be a gray weekend along the coast. For KCBS, I'm First Alert meteorologist Paul Hagan, now also on Pix Plus, home of the primetime edition at 8 p.m.
Thank you, Paul. We have traffic and weather together on KCBS.
Right now, we've got more on the News Watch.
Disney is hoping Deadpool and Wolverine, which is hitting the big screen this week, will help turn things around for the Marvel franchise. For more, Holly Kwan spoke with Bloomberg's Thomas Buckley.
So, Thomas, how important is this movie, not just this summer, but for the entire franchise?
Absolutely. So basically, I think that Deadpool and Wolverine is a very important film on multiple counts. Firstly, it's the 34th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has been incredibly successful over the course of its history, starting out since 2008 with the critically acclaimed Iron Man. It's grossed about $30 million at the box office. In recent years, it's actually seen some underperformance in terms of titles such as Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and also the Marvels last November, which marked the lowest ever opening for a Marvel film. So resuscitating the Marvel franchise is very, very important for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is certainly looking to do. And it comes amid underperformance in the wider Disney movie studio as well last year, and also it's hoping to resuscitate the fortunes of ailing cinema chains that have had a lack of product due to the twin actors and writers strikes last year.
I can't imagine who would tire with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, but talk about some of the recent Marvel releases that didn't live up.
Absolutely. So if we think about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, that was the third installment in a trilogy of Ant-Man films. Now, it generated over $400 million at the box office, but its budget was high enough that it meant that Disney wasn't able to recoup its production budget. So it's an unprofitable film, and ticket sales came in quite a bit lower than other installments in the Marvel franchise, including, for example, Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out later in the year and performed much better with over $800 million at the box office. And then, more recently, the last film in the MCU, before Deadpool and Wolverine, was The Marvels, that came out, was not a successful film. been open to the worst result actually in the history of the MCU, and so I think that the time was right for a reset, and certainly Disney is hoping that Deadpool and Wolverine will be back.
Yeah, because are people tired of the characters? Are they tired of the genre? Are they tired of going to the movies?
It's a really interesting question. I think that there was this perception, certainly coming out of COVID, that the landscape for cinemas wasn't the same anymore, that fewer and fewer people were going to the movies, and it is true that attendance has been down year on year. But that being said, you can point to individual films really succeeding in bringing audiences out and into seats. For example, Pixar's Inside Out 2, which is currently the highest grossing film of the year with over $1.4 billion worth of ticket sales. I think that when it comes to the superhero genre, it is true that it suffered from some saturation. Marvel was pumping out about 4 films a year and needs to start pulling back to focus on those high-quality individual films. Across the superhero genre, you've seen this before. I mean, certainly Batman, for example, is a character that has been beloved since the 1930s, but it's being consistently reimagined. When it's done well, it is pulling those audiences into seats. And the same is true of Deadpool and Wolverine here.
Our thanks to Bloomberg's Thomas Buckley.
Right now, we need to move over to the O'Donnell Financial Group Money Desk. That's where we find Jason Brooks looking at Mexican food.
Chipotle has been one of the better performing restaurant chains for several years, and the second quarter was no exception, as Chipotle's revenue soared more than 18% higher from a year ago to about $3 billion. Record haul for the Newport Beach-based company. Chipotle, however, warned at the earnings call that its margins will likely be under pressure in the next couple of quarters, mostly due to seasonal and temporary pressures, but higher avocado and dairy prices are also going to squeeze profit margins. Chipotle management also pointed out that the chain is focused on making sure all restaurants provide correct and generous portions to customers, following social media reports earlier this year that some Chipotle locations were shorting customers on portion sizes. Chipotle shares finished lower today, and a tech rally evaporated late in the session, with the Nasdaq tumbling another 160 points. S&P was down by 28, while the Dow finished higher by 81. Ford suffered its worst sell-off since 2009 on disappointing earnings. On the Money Watch, Jason Brooks, KCBS.
This is Patty Rising with a report from River Islands. The city of Lathrop has been named the fastest growing city in all of California. River Islands, which is located in Lathrop, is part of that success as the best-selling master plan community in all of Northern California. And the Bay Area plays a role in the community's growth as well, as 90% of the people who would become islanders made the move over the Altamont from the Bay Area. They're attracted by the lifestyle there along the San Joaquin River, the number of lakes, parks, and miles of trails already in place. They like the ease of walking over to a lakefront restaurant or bicycling to Islanders Field. This summer, River Islands is bringing on more new home neighborhoods, more parks and lakes, and celebrating the grand opening of River Islands High School. You can start your tour today at riverislands.com. That's riverislands.com. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-7606. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-7606. That's 800-688-7606. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We have traffic and weather together on KCBS. Karen joins us from your local Honda dealer's traffic center looking at conditions in the North Bay.
Starting to thin out all over Marin County in the North Bay. We do have a stubborn slow patch, though, in Sonoma County, eastbound 37. Still bumper to bumper between Lakeville Road and Sears Point. We do have a racing event, and that kicks off tomorrow at the racetrack there. the Raceway, and they open the campgrounds on Thursday, so we do see people headed in that direction already to get ahead of the event. Finally recovered on the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. We had this string of minor problems, stalls and that sort of thing. So right now, no slowing at all between San Rafael and Richmond, both directions of the bridge moving well. And the Golden Gate Bridge, that's been a foggy ride. It's actually starting to thin out now, and traffic is light in both directions coming and going from Marin County. The Bay Bridge had a rough early afternoon. There was a huge car fire hours ago now. It's just starting to back up on the upper deck. I see traffic flowing into San Francisco for the evening. Fortunately, no incidents in either direction, but it's still very slow on northbound 101 and eastbound 80. If you're in a hurry to get out of town, that's not a quick ride. Next update at 6:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Pretty dramatic drop in temperatures tomorrow. They're going to fall to below average inland and on Saturday as well. Tomorrow just in the upper 70s to low 80s inland, and then on Saturday just into the mid 70s. Traffic and weather together. I'm KCBS.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. The untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to face the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music in his ears. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, the ones who get it done.
Welcome to Staples, young man. Tomorrow's my big day. Big day? First grade. Aw, well, Staples have crayons, markers, glue. I need a laptop. Oh, yeah, sure. With Staples Hot Deals, you can save up to $300 on select PCs for school. Wait. The finances are mom's department. Right. I'm looking for performance, like a Core i7 processor.
Boy, first grade has really changed.
Tell me about it.
Save big on tech for school with super low Staples Hot Deals. Right now, get up to $300 off select PCs at Staples and P24.
News that matters to you. Around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All news, 106.9 and AM 740. KCBS.
Coming up on KCBS, why hikers on the Pacific Crest Trail need to pay extra close attention right now.
Just as well as the alleged leader of Mexico's Sinaloa cartel has been arrested in El Paso. A CBS News update in seconds.
I'm Patty Rising, and I'm Brett Lockhart.
CBS News Brief. Two top Mexican drug cartel leaders were arrested near El Paso, Texas. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
Ismael Zambada Garcia, known as El Mayo, an alleged co-founder of the cartel, and Joaquin Guzman Lopez, a son of its other co-founder, were arrested in El Paso, Texas.
El Mayo was the historic leader of the Sinaloa cartel for decades. Attorney General Merrick Garland said they were taken into custody without incident. The park fire in Northern California is the largest in the state this year. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
This fire was just a brush fire that overnight then exploded into a 70,000-acre monster.
After meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu at the White House today, Vice President Harris reiterated,
We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
And our News Watch continues on a Thursday evening.
We're gauging reaction to major changes coming to Southwest. After 50 years, the airline will be dropping its open boarding system and will start assigning passenger seats, just like all other major airlines. KCBS's Margie Schaefer reports an activist investor may have been the motivation behind the changes.
A hedge fund is likely shaking things up at Southwest Airlines.
Elliott Management Group now owns about 11% of Southwest, and they have wanted huge changes to Southwest, these changes among them.
That is managing news editor at The Points guy, Clint Henderson, who says Elliott Management also wants to ditch some of the C-suite executives at Southwest. And these moves may be an attempt to head that off. Boeing has been having trouble delivering planes, and Southwest has had to cut some routes and rejigger their schedule because they don't have enough aircraft. The addition of red-eye flights offers an opportunity for efficiency.
What this means to do is to get those planes they do have operating more consistently around the clock. So they have to do more with less right now, and that includes adding red eyes, which they've never really had before.
The first red eyes will begin Valentine's Day of 2025. Henderson says it will take some time for Southwest to reconfigure the cabin layout to add extra legroom seats. Margie Schaefer, KCBS.
Hollywood's video game performers are going on strike, throwing part of the entertainment industry into another work stoppage after talks for a new contract with major game studios broke down over artificial intelligence protections. Strike's going to begin 1 minute after midnight. It is the second strike for video game actors and performers under SAG-AFTRA. Comes after nearly 2 years of negotiations with the gaming giants. Union negotiators say gains have been made over wages and job safety, but that the game studios would not make a deal over the regulation of generative AI.
Two local members of Congress clashed over immigration today as the House passed a Republican resolution condemning Kamala Harris and her role as the so-called border czar. GOP Congressman Darrell Issa represents the southern part of the Inland Empire as well as a big portion of San Diego County, and he says border crossings by illegal immigrants have soared in his district.
These are Chinese. These are Russians. These are people that have come from countries where we cannot verify and cannot return, and they are being not just encountered, they're being brought into the country. They're being sent to New York. They're staying where they want to stay and doing what they want to stay. That is what this administration has done for 4 years.
South LA County Congresswoman Annette Arangan heads up a Hispanic caucus, and she hit back.
We keep hearing the term over and over again, the lies, that she was the border czar. Vice President Harris was never the administration's border czar. As a matter of fact, there has never been such a position. It was invented by Republicans. Border security is the responsibility of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas. Again, this was not the responsibility President Biden gave her. President Biden tasked the Vice President to address the root causes in the Northern Triangle countries of Central America that cause migrants to flee their home countries.
She says border crossings right now are lower than in the final stages of the Trump administration.
Well, the state's power grid seems to be holding up in all this extreme heat. No flex alerts so far. Karen Adams looks into why that is.
We've been avoiding those flex alerts for some time now, since September 2022. Cal ISO COO Mark Rothleader says that's because in part they've been able to store up enough energy thanks to clean power resources. But we've had some pretty extreme heat lately. Why no flex alerts now?
We are certainly being tested now, and we are passing the test. But what has been different is the coastal regions have not gone to extreme level temperatures. And furthermore, the overnight temperatures have cooled down such that we start the day in a relatively better place with the cool mornings. As we go into September, that tends to change, and this is when we have the coastal region usually heating up and or also high temperatures in the overnight, so we don't get that cooling effect, and that's when we can see temperatures and the loads increase.
So we'll see if the grid holds up. Rothleader says wildfires right now are a threat should they come into contact with any equipment that would require them to be taken out of service. I'm Karen Adams, KCBS.
We're going to check KCBS traffic and weather together in less than 2 minutes.
Honey, what's the easiest thing to do?
Riding a bike.
Easier.
Tying your shoelaces.
Simpler than that.
What then?
Selling your home.
Really?
Yep, with John Buys Bay Area Houses. He buys homes for cash, as is, hassle-free.
Just like that?
Absolutely. No repairs, no waiting, just cash in hand.
Wow, that's easy.
Easier than tying your shoelaces, trust me.
Find out how easy it is to sell your home. Call John Buys Bay Area Houses. 510-426-7000. That's 510-426-7000.
John Buys Bay Area Houses. Sell your house the easy way.
Save on your favorite summer flavors at Rayleigh's in Nob Hill. This week only, clip your digital member deal online or in the Rayleigh's app to bring home California-grown Hass avocados for just 97 cents a piece, limit 8. Summer savings you can count on, only at Rayleigh's in Nob Hill.
This house is driving me nuts. It's such a mess. Can Left Coast buyers really buy my property?
Absolutely. We specialize in buying homes just like yours. Whether it's inherited, facing foreclosure, or just too much to handle, we've got you covered.
So I don't have to fix anything up?
Nope, not a thing. We buy houses as is. No matter the condition, you don't need to lift a finger.
What about all the hassle with appraisals and paperwork?
No way. No appraisals needed, and we keep the paperwork minimal. It's super easy and quick with Left Coast buyers. Call now at 925-490-2000. That's 925-490-2000.
Are there any hidden fees or catches I should know about?
0 hidden fees or commissions. Left Coast Buyers handles everything, so you